This video covers connecting to MySQL and using PhpMyAdmin to connect to MySQL. You will need to go to this URL, https://engineering.purdue.edu/phpMyAdmin. Make sure that there is an S and make sure you see the lock. So https and again engineering.purdue.edu/phpMyAdmin. If you are off campus, meaning you are not on the Purdue network, you will need to have your VPN enabled. If you do not have your VPN enabled and you are not on the Purdue network, it will give you an error of something like forbidden access, maybe. So just enable your VPN off campus and then make sure that you are going to the secure site, HTTPS, and you should see a page like this load. So you were given or will be given a username and password to use with this class. That username and password was probably something like one of these: CGT 356 web number letter, 1I, 1E, 1Q, 1A, 2A, or maybe it's 353 web, 2A, 2Q, 1F, whatever it is. But that's your username that you are either already given or you will be given for use with this site. You are also given a password that is associated with this site. So you will type your username and your password in, and you have to make sure that you choose GOS, gos.tech.purdue.edu. Remember technology, gos.tech.purdue.edu. If you forget to check that, it will not log in. You'll type your login and password over and over again, and it will not log in. So make sure that you choose gos.tech. Make sure that it shows there after you have selected it. So after you have typed your login and password, mine is different obviously, hit go. You should see a site that looks like this when it loads. Now you I don't believe will see all the things that I see, but I see all of the databases that I have created for class. And so one of these is your database, whether it's 1A, 1B, 1C. The thing to remember is that your login that you just used, CGT356 web number letter, is the same as your database name. So your login name and your database name are one and the same. They are the same thing. And then you have your password associated with your login. And inside of your database, we create tables. So depending on, let's go to this one. So depending on whether or not the student has started an assignment, there will be tables in here. So this student has started an assignment and has created 2 tables. If you expand the table, you can see the columns. If you expand the columns, you can see the columns in that table. Think of a table as a spreadsheet. That's what it is. It is rows and columns. It's a spreadsheet. So we have a table called Shippers Lab 5. It has columns of company name, phone, and shipper ID. We have another table called Users Lab 5. It has columns of, well, it has a lot of columns there, starting with address. New is not a column. New means create a new column. If you click on the name of the table, I clicked on the name of that table, it will dump the data in table format. So there are 3 rows or 3 records inside of there. If I click on the other one, I don't like how it scrolls this up to the top every time. You'll see that it has dropped this large table here. There are 9 records here. Up at the top it says 9 total. If we come back to this one, it says 3 total. So there's 3 total records there. We are in the Browse tab here. We can go to the Structure tab, which will list the column names. So the column name, shipper ID, company name, and phone. Again, if we go to this table, we go to the Structure tab. These are all of the columns that are in that table. And then we've got the SQL tab. So in the SQL tab, we can write SQL queries. And the one that you need to know for beginning is the select query. So it's select from where having group by order by are the keys, but for what you need to know right now, it is select column names. So my column names are listed over here. So we're going to select user ID, last name, first name, and title. So I'm going to type select user ID, last name, first name, title, from table name. The table name is on the left-hand side over here, highlighted, Users Lab 5 with a capital L. Semicolon. It is important that you realize that things are case sensitive. So it is important that you realize that things are case sensitive. If in your PHP code you make this a lowercase l, your code will not work. There's a capital U here. Look, capital U, capital ID, capital L, N, F, N, T. Okay? So things are case sensitive. And I want to make sure to point that out because that is the quickest and easiest way to have problems. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at someone's code that says it won't work, and all it was they had a lowercase l where they should have had a capital L. So things are case sensitive. So again, select column names. These are all column names out of a spreadsheet from table name. The name of the spreadsheet or the name of the table is Users Lab 5. When you've done that, hit go. And here is the spreadsheet of data. I know it doesn't look like an Excel spreadsheet, but it is a table of data, right? It's got 4 columns and it's got 9 rows, just like that. And just like that, we can select anything. Let's click on the shippers table. So now I've got the shippers table. Up here I can see that I've got the table shippers lab 5 selected. Let's go to the SQL tab. You can see my columns listed over here on the right. And here again I'm going to write a select statement. Select shipper ID, company name, and phone from, look on the left hand side, shippers lab 5 with a capital L, like that. Now in PHP we won't put it on separate lines. PHP it'll look like this. Select column names from table name. Go. So again, we've got 3 returned. We've got our table of data. We've got 3 columns. We've got 3 rows. So anytime you're wondering if your SQL query is working the way you think it should be, bring your SQL query into the SQL tab. Make sure you're on the correct table, right? If you're not on the right table, it's not going to work. Again, up here it shows the table. You can paste the SQL query into here and hit go and see what happens. Now you can't have any variables in there. You've got to have the actual text written out. So there we've covered logging into PhpMyAdmin. It is on gos.tech.purdue.edu. You've got to make sure you use that. It is using the username and password that you're given for the class. It is not, I repeat, not your career account login. It is not that. It is the username and password that you were given for the class. Once you log in, you're not going to see all the tables that I see. You should see your table. You can then create tables. The first thing that you'll have to do is create a table. And so what you'll need to do is go to your database. You'll go to the SQL tab, and I will have provided you with some text to copy and paste. So you copy it out of that text file. It'll be create statements and insert statements. You copy it out of that text file, you paste it in here, you hit go. After you hit go, over here on the left-hand side, you should see the tables. If you don't see the tables, hit this refresh icon and the tables should appear. Outside of that, that should be a pretty good introduction for using PhpMyAdmin. Again, remember to use the HTTPS. You need to see the lock symbol, and it's at engineering.purdue.edu/phpmyadmin.